to begin with, I want your feet to be hip width apart. You want to make sure that both feet take equal weight, and you start rocking from to the front and to the back. Now what I want you to imagine is that you're on a bus and you're not holding on, and what you would do is you would try and find your balance in your feet, which is exactly what I want you to do. Then rather than having hyperextended knees, I need you to find the softness in there, so just slightly bent, as you would do as if you were on the bus. I know you would slightly bend your knees to find your balance. That's exactly right. Now we want to find your neutral pelvis. So what you want to do here is to rock to the front and to the back, and imagine that your hips are filled with water. So as you're tilting, you're spilling the water to the back and to the front. You're going to make the movement smaller and smaller until you imagine that water to be absolutely still and stable. And that is actually a really good way of finding your neutral pelvis, which will help you to find your neutral spine, which is the important bit there. Imagine that your head is attached to a piece of string lifted to the ceiling. All your vertebrae are slightly coming away, which is lovely. And rather than actually pushing your shoulders down, I want you to rotate them and lengthen through the collarbone. So you kind of, rather than going into your rib cage, I want you to isolate everything and just use your shoulder blades to open up there. No tension around the neck or the spine, and that's it. So you're now completely perfectly aligned. The breathing is slightly different compared to breathing in yoga classes. So I want your hands to be on the lower rib cage, fingertips touch in the middle. Now as you breathe, the fingertips are going to come apart naturally. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, they join together. The hands don't move, the movement is coming from your rib cage. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, they slide together. So sometimes you have to try it a few times to get your head around it, especially if your breathing is more in the chest than in the tummy. It's just kind of a new way of breathing. So just go deep, go wide into the rib cage. And as you breathe out, you're going to try now to pull your belly button into the body. So belly button into the spine. And just think about getting your baby closer to the body. So you breathe in. As you breathe out, you pull that baby towards you, and that's a really good way of enhancing the grip of your TA, your transversus abdominis, that goes all the way around and enhancing it into the body. If you can, if you have enough head space for it, at the same time as you breathe out and you're pulling in, I want you to lift your pelvic floor. So your pelvic floor is part of your core. It's not just your TA, it's also the lift there that is your core. So you breathe in, as you breathe out, not only are you pulling in, you're also lifting your pelvic floor. So there's a lot happening on the out breath, which is slightly, it's quite easy to do when you're standing still, but slightly harder when you're moving. So if you struggle, just practice standing up and then join us when you're ready. Right, so from here, I want you to come onto the mat. So we're going into a half plank. Place your hands at the front and bring your knees further back. We're going in a 3/4 plank. So you want your bum to be in line, so you've got a diagonal line from the shoulders all the way to your knees. If you know that you're quite strong, and you were very strong before you were pregnant, there's no problem for you doing a full plank, absolutely fine. So you choose your level, and I want you to focus on two things. First of all, your hands are fully on the mat. So a lot of people start doing these things where your fingers are slightly lifted. No, all the fingers have to press down. Now the other thing is, I don't want you to hunch in your shoulders. That's number two. I want you to open the shoulders up, and then it's about the breathing. Breathing wide into the rib cage. As you breathe out, I want you to pull the baby towards you and lifting the pelvic floor at the same time. So breathe in. As you breathe out, pull in, pull in, pull in. Now gravity works down, right? So it wants to take your baby and your belly towards the floor. You have to use your muscles to hold it into the body on the out breath. Two more. One more, one more. Now the good thing about planks is you can do them throughout pregnancy and a very good postnatal as well. So you'll be doing planks a lot. And then from here, I want you to just sit back into childbirth. Give yourself a quick break. Perfect. So from here, we have to come into seated. So the way I would transition is actually take your knees to the front and then actually roll back and come forward from here. Now from here, we're going onto the mat, so you lie down. So with control, find your way down. And we're coming into a 100 position. The good thing about the first trimester is that you can still lay flat on the floor. So I would say enjoy it, because second and third trimester you're not allowed anymore. So you want to make sure to make the most of it. Now to find your neutral here can be tricky. Now what I want you to focus on, use your hands for feedback. Your hands will tell you what's going on with your body. So they should fit underneath your lower spine. That's your neutral spine that you've created here. But if they go up, your rib cage should be low. And I always have to correct myself because my rib cage tends to be high. So you have to breathe out and bring it down a tap. That's it. And then from here, I want you to open the shoulders, relax the shoulders down, and the head is not, you're not looking straight up, but I want you to look a little bit forward, so 30 degrees in front, so you're on the flat bit of your head. Now, I want your hands to be on the tummy, just to give you feedback again. Breathe in. As you breathe out, pull the abdominals in, lift the pelvic floor and bring your right knee above the right hip bone. Now, having one knee up is relatively easy without bulging in the tummy, but getting the second knee up, you really have to concentrate on holding everything in, so your spine doesn't come away. So this needs to stay. This is the focus in most of Pilates, is actually you hold your core down to stabilize your spine. Breathe in. As you breathe out, pull in, lift the pelvic floor, get the second knee up. Well done. So when you're here, if this is pulling on your lower back, then I need you to bring the knees in a little bit more without changing the positioning of the spine, so that natural curve stays. If you're a bit more advanced, absolutely fine. You take your knees further away until you feel it. You could be even having straight knees. You just have to see where you want to take it. But you have to make sure your abdominals stay low. Again, we're going to focus on the breathing. Breathe in wide into the rib cage. As you breathe out, belly button towards the spine. Try keep the shoulders relaxed, because what you find is that if you're in daily life using your shoulders a lot, you're going to want to use your shoulders here as well. I need you to keep open in the shoulders. Use your core. Breathe in, breathe out. That's it. Breathe in, breathe out. So you need to keep everything in. If you feel that you're losing if the arch is hyperextending, then just bring it in a little bit. 2 more. Last one. Well done. And just take the edge off, just roll from side to side and get your lower back onto the mat. I always think the 100 position looks easy, and when you do it, it's one of those that really works hard. Deceivingly hard. That's it. So from here, we're going to do the corkscrew, one of probably the most hated exercises by people that follow my classes, because it works all the muscles at the same time. So your knees, if you just gently push them away from you, but make sure that your spine stays fixed, so neutral. Then I want you to straighten out the legs as much as you can. Relax the shoulders. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, I know you won't be able to straighten it as much as I do. You may be here and I can lift with that, but what we're trying to do is having the hamstrings as straight and as stretched out as they can be. So you take them out as much as you can. That's it. Now, from here, you're going to breathe in and doing a bum lift at the same time. So you breathe in, you circle round. As you breathe out, you take them round and circle away. Hold your core in. So you breathe in as you integrate your bum lift in the movement. You breathe out and you take it away. Well done. Doing 2 more this way. Now it's up to you how big you make your circle. So if you're quite strong, you may want to go quite low and quite big on the side. But some people prefer to start slower and less deep. So you can also keep the movement more above your hips, which is easier. Change direction. So other way, breathe in, breathe out. In the corkscrew, it's quite hard to keep your shoulders relaxed. So if they come away, just put them back down. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one. That's it. Breathe in, breathe out. Well done. And then from here again, take the knees into the body and just rock from side to side. So from here, I want you to take your knees back over the hips. Be aware that as your knees are in the body, you have no gap between the spine and the mat, but then as you take your knees away, the neutral gap appears. Just make sure that you're not doing this, so you're not having this overarching. You need to control it with your core, so pull your abdominals down. Right, so from here, we're doing little bum lifts. I want you to straighten out your legs again towards the ceiling. Again, if your hamstrings don't allow it, you go as far as you can. Now from here, breathe in as you breathe out. I just want you to try and make footprints on the ceiling just above the hip bones. So breathe out as you lift. As you're breathing out, don't forget, you're always pulling in the abdominals and you're lifting the pelvic floor. So a lot going on at the same time. So you're working your six-pack muscles, but just in the other direction as you normally would. So it's your rectus abdominis. And then soles of the feet together, butterfly out to the side to relax the hip flexors. Now we have to come into seated. If you can, you do this without using your hands if you have the control. If you need a bit of support, get your knee into your hands and use that as a bit of leverage to come up. Boat pose. You want to be at the front of your mat. You want to find your sitting bones, so opening up from there. Big toes, ankles, knees come together. Now, if you find it quite hard to keep the knees together, all you have to think about is slightly rotating your inner thighs towards each other, and that will actually stabilize your adductors, your inner thighs, and that should help you to control. I want you to start with a straight spine, lengthen through the crown of the head, lengthen through the collarbones. You've got a nice neutral positioning to start from. Breathe in. As you breathe out, I want you to tilt back. So your shins are going parallel with the floor. You hold on for now. You relax the upper body, but you're kind of opening from the collarbones, but your lower spine stays soft. So you're not pushing everything forward. The opening is happening quite subtly in the upper body, not in the lower back. Now, if you're quite strong, so you may be absolutely feeling it here, or you can let go. Breathe in. As you breathe out, belly button towards the spine. Lift the pelvic floor if you can. Think about that one as well. Breathe in, breathe out. That's it. 2 more before we take a break. Last one. Then cross your legs, come forward, just give your hip flexors a quick break. So if that was quite easy for you, we'll try and straightening your legs at the next boat pose that we do. If you feel that that was absolutely your level, then stay there, absolutely fine. So come back, big toes, ankles, knees together. Long spine to start with. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tilt back. So again, open the collarbones, but not the lower back. Hold your tummy in. You need to have the control. If you're bulging in your abdominals, you're kind of losing the purpose of the exercise. So let go if you can. Breathe in. As you breathe out, stabilize by pulling the abdominals in, lifting the pelvic floor. Now imagine that there is a bar behind the balls of your feet. On the out breath, I want you to push out. And then breathe in. That's it. 2 more. That's it, and back in, last one. Open through the collarbones, keep your form, tummy moves in, lift the pelvic floor. It helps you to stabilize. Back in, well done. Just to give your hip flexors a break, cross your legs and move forward. And breathe. Well done, well done. So these are quite powerful moves. I would say do it little and often, and you'll see the best possible effect from it. And then come up, well done. So thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions about Pilates in the first trimester, please let us know in the comment section below. And thank you for joining us. See you soon.